I'm Novena Carmel, and I'm here with Tauchar, a.k.a. Celeste, who just smashed that stage to pieces. The energy was like off the chain. Yeah. And I love the like the peaks and the valleys, you know. We're rocking out and then we're smoothing it out a little bit.
Yeah.
And it was a celebration for your new EP, right?
Yes, it was.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
How does it feel to have it out?
It feels so good. I cried at like 9 p.m. when everything like switches over on Thursday night. You know? I like cried. I sobbed to it because it was just like, it's been such a long time coming.
Yeah. How long has it been?
Well, we made it in like September and October of 2020.
Okay.
It took a while to finish everything, but I've been sitting on it for like a year.
Damn. And where were you when you were sitting there waiting for the clock to strike 9 p.m.?
I was just on my couch at home. My best friend and roommate is also a musician, and she had a show that night, so I was like getting ready to leave, but she'd already left, so I was home alone, and I was like, before it's time to support her, I'm going to like sit down, support myself, cry. And
yes. What an amazing feeling. And I mean, it was a pretty lofty EP because it's an 8-song EP, which is almost an album
I have to
worth
fight
of music.
people and be like, it's an EP.
Why is that important to you for it to be an EP rather than an album?
Well, in all honesty, I thought it might come out a little bit earlier, and I didn't want to put out my debut album during the pandemic when I couldn't tour and play shows and be face-to-face with people. Obviously, like, now things have changed a little bit,
right? But
it still just felt, even though it feels like a body of work to me, I wanted to like grow a little bit before making the debut album. I feel like it's so loaded, so I just want a little more time.
Yeah, whatever you're feeling is like the perfect way to go with
it.
But I love the title of the EP and the meaning behind it. You described it so beautifully.
Yeah.
I would love for you to like tell us in your own words. So the EP is called In Awe of Significance, right?
In Awe of Insignificance.
Yes. In Awe of Insignificance. And can you tell us like what that means?
Yeah. I mean, basically, I have tried to kind of adopt that as like my life mantra, if you will, a little bit, you know, without trying to sound cheesy. But basically, it's like, it really took hold when the pandemic started, and obviously like all of us were deeply impacted by it, and like our lifestyles, especially as like music lovers and live event lovers, you know, all of that went away, and I really turned inward and started doing things for myself. Like I bought like hundreds of candles for my room and made it really dreamy, and I got way more into gardening, or even just like I got into this routine that I had gotten so out of like sitting on my porch every morning, drinking coffee and reading. And it seems like these like very small choices that we make, but in reality they're very big choices because they have a huge impact on our lives and our well-being. And I don't know, like as things evolve and move forward and real life comes back, like I want to keep that side of things with me and like keep that wonder and that awe of those little things. So, and of every side of the spectrum of emotion, which I kind of tried to cover in this EP.
Right. Yeah. So it's like you were saying something about the EP. You wanted it to represent like the world that you want to see, right? Which and you're covering like, what are some of the emotions that you'd say you're covering or experiences throughout the EP?
Yeah. Well, it starts with the song Sad Chick, and it's like a little bit tongue-in-cheek. You know, there's like the sad girl thing now or whatever, but it's kind of tongue-in-cheek of like being like, yeah, I have depression, I have anxiety, and it's very straight up like, I'm going to lose my phone and not call you for 3 days. I'm going to lose my keys and they're going to get towed. I'm not going to change my laundry over. And, you know, those little things, and just being very upfront about that. And then there's also like the relationship songs, the highs and the lows. And then one of my favorite songs is the song Growing Up. It's the last song I played in the set tonight.
Yeah.
It's like about, to me, like growing up is like learning how to process things and act on them in like a healthy way instead of acting completely on impulse. And I don't know, I kind of wrote it when I felt like I was like on the verge of a breakdown, not actually having one, but being like, this is about to mess me up.
Bubbling.
Yeah. And figuring out like how to not totally derail my life with that.
Yeah. And I feel like, I mean, the last song you did, like, I felt like I was there with you when you were just like, you were singing and then you were just like fucking shouting. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's kind of how it is in conversations, important conversations with people. There's moments where you're like talking through it, and then sometimes you just need to like yell through it, and conversations with yourself. And I think some healthy yelling is fucking healthy.
Absolutely.
Right? Would you say so?
Absolutely. Oh, we need it. It's like so cathartic.
Yeah, definitely. And like if you have neighbors, you can just like do it into a pillow. That shit works.
I literally do that.
Do you
like,
do
all
that?
the time. Like, yeah,
I saw that on TV or something. I was like, that doesn't work. And it works. No one can hear you.
It
so
works.
that's the tip for tonight.
Yeah.
Yell into a pillow. Some healthy yelling.
Well, anxiety is physical.
It is,
so you gotta let it out somehow.
Yeah, definitely. Let's get to some of the AMAs because folks are curious to know more about you in the chat, and they're dropping the AMAs throughout your performance along with just like ranting and raving.
Yeah.
Smokey DeVito wants to know, how did you come up with your name?
Hey, Smokey.
Hey, Smokey.
So my last name is Tauchar, and it's spelled in a weird way. Nobody has ever been able to pronounce it or
spell it. I said it wrong earlier. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
It's like literally like it would be weird if you did it right. So Tauchar is one of the many iterations that people have thrown at me throughout my life, and it felt like a nice way to like have a cool name, but also like have it be me.
An homage.
Yeah,
to your real name.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. And another question. Well, I love this one because okay. So let's talk about your EP for one second, which will get us to the next question. I know there's a visual component to the EP as well, where there's a video for every song, right? Which is amazing. That's quite something to take on. And you produced and directed each video?
I produced all of them, and I directed some of them.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
What was that your first time doing something like that, or do you have experience?
Yeah, it pretty much was. I mean, I've done music videos in the past, and I've always been very hands-on and very involved in the making of all of that. But this was like the first time that it was like I was like really in the driver's seat with that.
Yeah.
And I feel like I truly like learned the skill of producing and like set design and like conceptualizing something from start to finish like that, and it's so fun. And now I'm kind of like, oh, I want to do this for other people too. You know,
think you're gonna do that?
Maybe. Like if anybody wants me to.
Yeah, I think they will. So where I was getting to next is you did a cover of one of my favorite music videos.
Yes.
Talking Heads, Burning Down the House. Though that has amazing visuals for that as well.
Everything they do.
Right, yeah. And like what inspired you to do that song as your cover for tonight? It's kind of unusual, but like worked really well.
They are honestly like Talking Heads are a big inspiration of mine. David Byrne like just is a god in like everything he's ever done. 100%. Is so good. And for me, like my first couple of like releases that I did, I've been releasing music for like 3.5 years, and there was a part of me that was like afraid to lean into some of those like weirder, artier, and like performance-based sides a little bit, which was weird because I grew up doing like dance and theater and like all the things, and I don't know, it was just like I was kind of afraid to let that out, and I've like kind of gotten reacquainted with that side of myself recently and really leaned into some of that. And you know, Talking Heads, like we said, like there's just such a great example of like a weird arty band that also had like killer visuals and like was so like involved in every single side of like every multimedia side of that. And so they were an inspiration in that way, and also just in some of the production, some of their drum patterns and like just production choices.
Dope, yeah. I mean, you can't go wrong with Talking Heads.
Exactly.
So let's get to our final Mitsubishi Drive Your Ambition question of the night, which is voted on by the chat.
Ooh.
What are your passions outside of music?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. Yes. I love many things. I love to read, and like I said, like I literally have been trying to read every morning since the pandemic started because I was out of it a little bit for a while. I love visual art, and I don't know. It's like a horrible answer. Well, maybe not. I don't know. I love creating in every sense, and so it's not just music. Like I love to make visual art. I love to dance. I did dance for 13 years, and so I just like love to be creative in any way that I can be. Yeah. And a lot of times that doesn't involve music. Like sometimes you get out of it, and like I always turn to other types of art.
Yeah, and it like fills you in different ways.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally. Well, Tauchar, thank you so much, Celeste, for being here. Congratulations on the EP.
Thank you.
Listen to the EP, buy the EP, watch the visuals, support real artists.
Yes.
Thank you for being here.